Hey, it's the red carpet ring where we are supreme. Got another good show for you guys today. We'll talk about was Terrence Funk really a legend? We will talk about Terry Funk, the hardcore legend, who had a very long career, spanning from 1965 to 2017, of course, of 52 years. So before we begin, allow me to reintroduce myself like I always do. All right. So thank you guys for coming out. Red carpet ring is in. So thank you all guys from Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. Also, speaking of Rumble, you can check me on Rumble. It'll be under red carpet ring. Just type that in. Will be one word, red carpet ring. That'll be it for Rumble. Also, of course, check me out, the red carpet ring content on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. We'll give you to you real good content every week. Do a live stream, talk about top 10 or top 15 of best of whatever the topic may be, championships, careers, matches, so on and so forth. But topic today is Terry Funk. That's what we'll talk about. And we'll discuss the top 10 rated Terry Funk matches. I'm going to highlight his career, everything about him. We will rank from 10 to 1 of his matches, the ranking, and then I will also go over more stuff with his career, break it down, go into sections, talk about, how long his career was, where promotion he worked for, who he had matches with, rivalries, everything you could think of regarding Terry Funk. So let's see, who is Terry Funk? Who is that? Terrence Funk was born June 30th, 1944, is an American retired professional wrestler. He's known for the longevity of his career, as I stated a couple minutes ago, which spanned for more than 50 years and included multiple short-lived retirements and the influential hardcore wrestling style he pioneered in the latter part of his career. He is considered one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. That is Terry Funk. He very legendary. So it's very interesting of what I learned about Terry Funk. You name it, he did it. He did everything you could think of, from technical wrestling to brawler to hardcore. So everything you could think of. Let's see who came to the ropes to the ring. Jessica Moore, what's going on? How you doing? Shout out to you. Thank you for the inspiration behind this topic of Terry Funk. I know you mentioned this to me, so I decided to highlight him today. But with that being said, I will go from 10 to 1. Of course, I got Mr. Goodbray with me, and he will also go over it. Now, I'm going to mention from 10 to 1, and I'm going to show the rating on there, and then I'll go more into that particular match, if that makes sense. I'll go more into it. CMTV, salute to you. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate that. So we're going to start with number 10. Number 10 of top rated Terry Funk matches. We have Terry Funk versus Ricky Steamboat. Clash of Champions, number 7 is the NWA event going to WCW, NWA/WCW. And this was in June 14, 1989. And this was rated 7.2 out of 10. Now, he had a good matches. He had good matches pretty much anybody, but he had a good one with Ricky Steamboat. So, with that being said, I will go more into this particular match. So give me a couple minutes while I do that. I am going to highlight more about this. 1 second. So his career, this particular match here, if you guys can see it, this was rated a 7.21. This was 6/14/89 World Championship Wrestling. I know I said NWA. It says event NWA, but this was going to the whole NWA transform over to WCW. Now let's see what people say about this match. 7.0. This couldn't been even better if not for a disappointing ending. Would have been cool to see more clean endings on the show. We do get good angle where Lex Luger runs off Terry Funk to turn heel on Ricky Steamboat. Another person here said this match was excellent, an excellent year for WCW. I remember watching the event at a friend's house. I didn't appreciate Funk much as a kid, but adult me has come to love the guy, especially in 1989 WCW. It seemed this match gets forgotten because both men's great matches with Flair, but they had a great match here with each other too. Luger's coming on to Steamboat's aid at the end of the match, and then turning heel on heel was great. And that's what I liked about Terry Funk. Terry Funk told a good story in the ring. He always described, you know, not only ended one story, but he always continued another. So that was number 10, rated number 7.2, well, 7.21. And I'm going to pass the mic to Goodbread and see what he thinks of this particular match.
Now that was a good match right there. I remember watching that match, and like I like what the commenter said. You don't you tend to skip that match because of the Flair feud and then the Steamboat Flair feud. So that match go unnoticed about the Funk and Steamboat, but he had chemistry. He had good chemistry with everybody he was in the ring with. So I could believe that, man. Made me want to go watch that match again.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that match again myself. I saw a little bit of that match, but I got to give you a due.
Because I am that damn good.
And I
Salute, 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 squad.
let's see who else came to roast to the ring. Broski and Brose show. What's going on, bro? Thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, I think it gets like you said, it gets overlooked because he has so many good matches with Flair. Him and Steamboat did. We forget that they had a match against each other. And then the whole ending part. What do you think about the ending part of Lex Luger coming in to his aid then turning on him?
That was a good way to turn. Back in the days, it was so common to do the heel turn like that, to fake friendship and then go into the heel turn. Same template they used when Terry Funk turned heel on Flair. You know what I mean? I know we'll get to that, but it was just great TV. Back in those days, they told a great story. Wrestling told a great story. And if I'm not mistaken, that kind of nudged Lex Luger towards to becoming a four horseman.
Yep. Spot on. You spot on with that. That kicked it off.
And I'm awesome!
Yep. Yeah, that was number 10 rated 7.21. So 7 out of 10. But I am going to go into number 9 of the top 10 rated Terry Funk matches. So number 9, we do have Terry Funk versus Barry Windham, Capital Sports Promotions, 1986. This match was rated a 7.57. So I'm going to also look at that particular match. and go into more detail of that one. Just like I'm gonna do all these matches, it'd be more detail. So let's see what they have to say about this particular match. It says here Barry Windham versus Terry Funk, Capital Sports Promotions, 13th anniversary, 1986, round one, 7.63. Let's see what comments they said about this match. This person said here, this was pretty okay. Wyndham and Funk did both well. It was just a fun matchup. Nothing special or noteworthy. It's just pleasant. No complaints here. Another person said this was a lot of fun, which is hardly a shock considering who was in it. Make sure you watch the Funk promo after the match too. Then I'll read off one more comment. They rate this 8.0, higher than the other two that is 7.0. Funk is just one of them all-time greats and matches up so perfectly with Barry here. The Mount Pile drives is maybe over the top, but it never stops being fun, being great to watch. So that is the whole deal behind that match. That was Barry Windham versus um, Terry Funk. Barry Windham, of course, I say before, is Bray Wyatt's uncle. He was also had a great long career, and he had a great match with Terry Funk. Terry Funk pretty much put anybody on, made him look good, did what he could do. I mean, I know Ric Flair's the man, but it seemed like so far, even though we in number 9, he's the man.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
So it seemed like he was the man to beat because him and Flair had a lot of battles. We'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, this was real good though. Let's see what Jessica say. I agree. This was a great match. Yeah, they rated 7.0, but some people gave it a higher rating. You guys too could put it. Who do follow his matches? Put in the live chat what you think of the rating out of 10. Do you think some of these ratings are lower or higher, or they should be higher? Because everyone has their own opinion. But I'm gonna pass the mic to Goodbread and see what he thinks of this match.
This was a good match too, and like you said, a lot of people stole their style from Terry Funk. So young Barry Windham was coming up with the cowboy gimmick, you know what I mean, back at the ranch, and great chemistry. Like they said, the comments is spot on. It was nothing special, but to see Terry Funk paint the picture and just dance and maneuver around the ring, and then you got the young Barry Windham who got the same similar style. This match was like a Brandon Iron match, like if I'm not mistaken. It was to see who can brand who first, but it had the
I think
gimmick
so.
to it.
Yep.
It was fun. It was fun.
And then what I noticed about Terry Funk, not only he could sell a story, he did make the match interesting. Whether it was branding, pile drivers, choking you out, doing whatever he can do. He did it all. I mean, there was
Yeah, the
nothing he
man would
couldn't do.
practically he would rip the whole ring apart, just go crazy, and just that right there adds so much. Like wow, I never saw that before. Go back in the
Yeah,
ring, get his ass ripped. But or you're
yeah,
gonna
he
leave the
was.
you're gonna sorry, my bad. You're gonna leave the arena remembering when he ripped the ring up. You're not even gonna remember that he lost the match.
Yeah, Terry Funk was all about putting on a great show. He was about, like you said, leading the fans home happy, and he just was a man's man. Seemed like he just don't get recognized, and that will be described later on Toss Ring scandal for why WWE disrespects Terry Funk in the way they do. We will do that when we cross the bridge, but we'll get to that later. But it's just I'm fascinated by his career. Dude, see, when I grew up, Terry Funk, I saw the ECW version of him. He was older, but it's crazy. He was still putting on great matches at that point in his career. He was about what uh, 20 years in his career at that point. A good 20, 25 years even, maybe 25 years in. So it's nothing he couldn't do. He was a tough guy and an entertainer. He's pretty much a jack of all trades. I mean, this everything was thumbs up with him.
Yeah!
I know you guys can agree with me on that. That's a moment for that one. You know, but that was rated number 9 of top rated Terry Funk matches, showing that he was a legend. So let's get more to his before so yes, hit the like button. As Jessica said, hello chat. Don't forget to hit the like button. Give you guys very good content here, honoring Terry Funk. Not wait till he passes away or he's been gone. He's still alive. He's 79 years old, as I state in the bio. He just I know he's sick. He suffered from dementia. He was in a assisted living home at one point. But definitely hit that like button. See who else came into the ropes. Mr. Approach, Albert Channel, salute to you, the man that works around the clock. Much respect to you, Mr. Approach. Well, let's get into number 8. So, number 8 for top ranked matches, we have Terry Funk versus Harley Race, Houston Wrestling 1977. This match was rated at 8.79. So we will go into details of this particular match. Let's see what they had to say about this match. Let's see. All right. You guys can see it. You guys can see everything. Let's see. All right. Once you guys get a good view of this, this is Terry Funk we talking about. It's not no curtain jerker or a jobber. Now this match was 1/7, 1977, the National Wrestling Alliance singles match, and it was at the Houston Wrestling under NWA, ranked 8.79. Let's see what they had to say in the comments about this match. This person gave it 7.0. This was a good old fashioned wrestling match. The pace is slower, of course, but it picks up, especially after the first fall. The last 2 falls are very good. And I liked how Terry started bleeding from the red, and the redhead had to stop it. Match had a real good. You know what? I think this is the wrong match, if I'm not mistaken. You know what? Give me 1 second. I think this is the wrong one. Because this match I said was rated a. No, this is the one. I'm sorry. But I don't remember saying 2 out of 3 falls. It said that Terry started bleeding and the ref had to stop it. He said red had meant to say ref. Match had a good feeling to it. These guys are tough, no doubt about it. The selling and the psychology was good. 2 just very slow for the first 25 minutes or so. Now, this person here gave it a 6.0 out of 10. I really noticed the little things in a match. When these guys grab hold and lock in, they just don't sit there. They add more pressure or transition to something else, which keeps the match from getting stale, in my opinion. The crowd loved Terry, and both men's psychology really added extra dimension to the match. One more comment I'll pull up. This was an 8 out of 10. This was a great match class between the two. First half filling out process where Harley Race would take control with some great mat work. The first fall was about Harley's dominance leading up to the point. Second fall was about May's comeback. And the last fall, Bloody Funk just keeping fighting as he desperately tried to apply the spinning toe hold to Race. Finishing the match with the official calling it over because of Funk's bleeding. It's complete cop out, so neither man actually loses. I would like this more if the holds were so repetitive, but they do it with great sense of urgency. And this person gave it a 4, 1 out of 4. Now, I don't remember this. I don't remember this being a 2 out of 3 falls. Maybe I overlooked it, but but moving along, they gave it 8 point. Yeah, this 8.79. So this is one of the great matches. But Harley Race, we already talked about him. He's Definitely one of the better legends. He's up there, but Terry's on a whole different level. Whole different level. Harley, the best way to put it, Harley Race put things in motion, but Terry Funk took it off. He put Harley Race put it together, but Terry Funk put it together. He took things off, and I'll go more into his career of what he's done. So I definitely like this between these guys. These guys were really good. Nonetheless, well, I will let Miss Goodrich speak on that.
I didn't see this match, but knowing both of the two and watching a lot of their matches, it's like the ultimate tweener versus tweener match because you really seen Harley as a good guy, and you really seen Terry as a good guy, but he was a crowd favorite. Like, you know, the fans love to cheer his craziness, and Terry just had the fans. Like, so even when he was a bad guy, he'd get cheered. Like, you know what I mean? Terry was an ultimate heat machine, ultimate fan favorite. He just was. He was great, man. It's perfect that you're honoring him tonight and you're giving this man his roses while he's still here.
No doubt.
And
And that is undisputed.
and I want to add that yeah, I think it was back in the territory days, it was three out of 2 out of 3 falls. A lot of the
Hmm.
matches was 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, it was a lot of 2 out of 3 falls, and there was a lot of which I don't see too much today. They don't just wrestle inside the ring; they wrestle outside the ring. And it's not just to run from your opponent; they actually fought outside the ring. You see it today, but it's just not the same. Like when they fought outside back in the ring back in the day, they had tables set up outside. They used used the stuff outside to the best of their advantage. Was the ring posts, barricades, everything. It's not so much cliche like it is today. It was more original. So that was number 8. Number 7, we're gonna talk about his ranked matches. Terry Funk. The next one will be the Funk Brothers versus Giant Baba and Jumbo Surata, APJW Real World Tag League in 1980. 8.25. Now I know the Harley Race was an 8.79, but man, Terry Funk was a great tag team specialist. And these guys here are legends. Their opponents, Giant Bob and Subarado, Jumbo Surata. So I had to put that a little above it, even though the reigns were a little different. I had to switch things up a little bit. You guys know on red carpet rain, don't do everything set. I change things around. But we're gonna see what they say about that rating wise. So let's see. So this match here is an 8.25. Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk versus Giant Baba and Jumbo Surata. It was in 1980. All Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team in the event APJW, as I stated before, Tag 13. Let's see what the match say. Now, this person here gave it a low rating of 3. Let's see what we got to say. Roll on the 1990s when big matches would on longer inclusive finishes like countouts. It's almost 10 years after this for Baba to GT out of this mindset. So to me, over 40 minutes plus wasted, in my view, 26%. I don't know what that means, but we'll move on to the next comment. Despite the fact I am not against such a slow type wrestling, I watched this match with a hope of a quick end. Incredibly slow, dual boring. Only at the end of the match there was a bit of dynamics. 2.75. This person gave it a 10. This might be a minority opinion, but this is my favorite of the Funks and Jumbo Baba tags. It was a brilliant work tag match. Feel like every little more over his 44-minute length pays off at some point. The angles they run during the match and the tongue as well. Seeing Jumbo fired up when Terry takes a cheap shot at him was awesome, and anticipation of the two end up in the ring together was built perfectively. The Terry and Peril ending that we've seen a few times with the Fox works tremendously. As always, adds a ton of drama to the match. This match builds perfectly by the end. I found myself wishing it could have kept going. So we got mixed opinions on this type of match. Now, if I had to guess, this is because the first two comments, that was a 3 and a 5. I'm going to go on a limb and say those are new wrestling fans. They don't understand the New Japan style of wrestling and the older, back in the older days with the legendary guys. So they probably thought it was bad to them. But the one that said 10.0, it seemed like they're more of a old school fan that watches everything, the New Japan style, ECW, WWE, WCW. So they probably understand a little bit more. As he said, it was a minority, so maybe he's an Asian guy or Asian woman for that matter. So but them guys was telling a story back in Japan. In Japan, it was all about tradition and all about getting a great match on the show. But I'll let you go ahead, good Bray. What you think of this particular match here?
I haven't seen this particular tag match, but I've seen the Funk brothers in a tag match with the Briscoes, and I can't picture them having a bad tag match. I like the way they ran their angle of good good twin, bad twin, and with Terry Funk being the crazy one, and he being a
Mm-hmm.
demon, and his brother being the angel, the technical Mac wrestler, and Terry Funk, he adding that splash of hardcore to the element. That tag team was all right. I really, I don't know what to say on this one. I really don't know what to say, but I can only imagine. This is what you said it is. It's a different style. Like a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and this is why tag team wrestling get a bad rap. You know what I mean? Because a lot, you know what I mean. A lot of people don't understand how difficult it is to keep an audience entertained through four people.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now we went over number 7. We're gonna go to number 6. Top rated Terry Funk matches. How much of a legend that Terry Funk was. So number 6, we got here Terry Funk versus Bob Orton Jr. Southwest Championship Wrestling 1983. This match is rated 8.24. So we will go more into that match right now. Let's see what the comments had to say about this one too. So this was in May 26, 1983. Promotion was Southwest Championship Wrestling. Singles match, 8.24. And they got, I'm not going to read the whole comment, but I'll read the majority of it. This person gave it an 8.0. Say, great match here. Terry Funk's absolute master, but I was surprised how good Orton was. Probably 'cause I only see him in WWF matches where he didn't get to wrestle, earn his wage. Technical stuff at the start is genius. I wish they had showed us kind of to young training wrestlers nowadays because there's so much logic and psychology and Funk getting put in the headlock and actually trying to get out of it rather than just standing there until it's time to do a spot. These two can make each other feel real by actually wrestling, hosting wrestling. Things heat up as they get into the bout. Person here says everybody knows how great Terry Funk is. People need to show Bob Orton Jr. some love. This first half of match 2 put on a Mac classic, but until Funk gets frustrated and slaps Orton, the hate slowly begins to creep in after that, where Orton return the favor and slapping Funk. Also 8.0. Then last here, they're saying this match here, That they both get so physical, it becomes hard to tell whether there's any face heel dynamic anymore because of the desperation each man portrays. My favorite part has to be the slugfest that turns in towards the end. Both go all out with the overdone heel selling and answers to the bell rings, which had a proper end to this match. Over the winner being decided by a coin toss. They gave it 4-1/4. So, and the reason I'm highlighting these matches and I'm bringing up the rate and everything, some of these matches were they were not televised. As you can see, they were not WWE. They were not none of these actually were barely WWE televised except for the NWA WCW that's on the Peacock. Some stuff you can find on YouTube, but some you couldn't. So you have to basically follow the story and read and go over each character. Like I don't think this match I saw, but I do read about the rivalry, and they had a good rivalry. And Bob Orton, yes, he was a very good wrestler, and they knew to give some respect. WWE, he's known for having that damn cast, and about the damn cast, it's about him in these type of matches put on a great show. And also he had great chemistry with Funk. Funk had great chemistry with everybody, but Orton, I think too, Funk also showed Orton, give him some leeway and show how great he could be in the ring. So pass that on you, good bread. Oh, before we do, salute to you, CeeLo. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, this was that classic old school cowboy match. Classic old school cowboys. Two cowboys with the cowboy gimmick going on in there. You know what I mean? So, like you said, a lot of these matches is not televised, and that's why a lot of people sleep on Terry Funk. But I tell you now, you're either a Terry Funk guy or you're a Harley Race guy. A lot of people stole a lot of things from him too.
Yes, definitely. I gotta give you credit on that one. That was what's up. He ain't just give you our predictions. Spoiler.
And that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler.
Yep. Yeah, this was not televised things, and you have to do what you can do. Follow the story best way possible. And Terry Funk needs some respect on his name. I mean, look how long this man wrestled 52 years. We'll go more into that after I break down some of these matches. But fortunately, got a little public service announcement. I'm sorry, Facebook guys. This is the cutoff time. Gotta cut it off. If you want to view more of Red Carpet Rain content, you want to check more out, you either come over to YouTube, stop being lazy, stop thinking everything for free, come check it out here, or go to Rumble. So you got those two options. But Facebook will not be a third option because this is the cutoff date. Cutoff time right now. But other than that, before since we are at the halfway point, I am going to go more highlight of Terry Funk's career. So give me 1 second. I am going to do that because he needs to be recognized, and it's just a shame that this guy don't get enough recognition like he does. But I will go more into that. Just a little touch up of his career. So I'm going to go back to where I was. Now we'll go to Terry Funk here. Now this is the overview of his career. Now you guys can see he's rated as a host 9.3 from Hammond, Indiana. I should have did this sooner, but it just itching me to do it. His nicknames was Hardcore Icon, Middle Agent Crazy, Terrible, Texas Bronco, The Funker, Living Legend, Signature Move, Spinning Toe Pile Driver, Moonsault. You know, we go over his match statistics. Now he competed in 2,527 matches. He had a total of 1,341 wins, 53% of his matches he won, a little more than half. He lost 874 of those matches, which would be 34.6%. Total number of draws was 312, which is 12%. So he had a lot of matches, 2,500 matches. And every year it shows up to 2017, we only had two matches, the very last of his career. So this guy, he had a hell of a career, to say the least. Now his biggest rivals, and it shows right here, and we talked about some already, but I'm gonna go into it more. Ric Flair is one of his biggest rivals. Harley Race, Cactus Jack. Those are his biggest rivals. Now we know he feuded also with Steamboat. He feuded with Dusty, I think a little bit, and other guys, but these were his biggest ones. So these names you're gonna hear often. You already heard Harley Race, but this is his career. I mean, we go to his feuds here. He had great feuds. I mean, the tag team is stable, great tag team specialists. It's the Funk brothers, Dory and Terry Funk, Hoss Funk and Terry Funk, the Funks, stables of Funk Brothers, Funk Master Wrestling, Funks, Gary Hart International, J Tex Corporation, Millionaires Club, Old Age Outlaw, Stud Stable. As you can see, most of these were in WCW, NWA, and one in WWF at the time of before WWE in '86. And he also had, besides his brothers, Cactus Jack Chainsaw Charlie. This was in '98. So I just wanted to do a quick highlight of that real quick. That was his career. So um, that is Terry Funk, his whole career as a whole. Now I wanted to go more into his matches. We're gonna start. We are at five now. So number five match we have here. It is, speaking of which, Cactus Jack, Terry Funk versus Cactus Jack, IWA Japan, 1995, rated 8.42. I just saw this match myself recently, and it was a great match. Told a great story between these guys. Great, great story. Um, Actually one of the best hardcore matches I've seen. One of the best hardcore matches. Now I'm going to, like I did the rest. This you can watch on online, but I'm gonna still go into more depth about it because I know some younger fans don't know much about the whole Terry Funk and Cactus Jack before he was Mick Foley, especially the '70s and '80s matches. This was in '95. This when he was a little older. Still could put on a great match though. Still in great physical shape. Still was had the timing right and everything. Had the great cadence and everything. So I will go into that one of Cactus Jack. Let's see. Now, Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk, 8/20/1995. This was International Wrestling Association Japan. Match type was no ropes, barbed wire, exploding barbed wire boards, and exploding ring time bomb. IWA Japan, Kawasaki Dream, the Indie Dream Tag 7. Let's see what the comments had to say about this. The success of this event, like this, heavily relied on the finals and Big Stip heavily delivering. They're unlikely with explosion as the ring explosion is very weak and gets boos from the fans. And Crazy Cat Jack ladder bump into a barbed wire board was supposed to be set explosion, make a legendary spot. Match is very good and feels monumental enough, but these little things, Tiger's sneak high run in and confusing finish made quickly actually reach to the next level. Next person say this was a nine. They gave it an absolute massacre in every sense of the word. Not necessarily the cleanest match and finish was rough, but considering it was 40,000 people going nuts with these guys busting their ass after going along to a deathmatch tournament, and the Supreme Selling would stand out of all of it. Maybe not as good as the Onita versus Funk match, but damn spectacular nonetheless. Last person, nine. Rating 9, great match and very specific to time and place. I feel. What I like more about this hardcore stuff was very good for what it was. Both guys did great selling how exhausted they were from the tournament, but it was still willing to put on great, give each other hell. Foley bleeding, everything still coming on. Funk throwing those violent punches right to the head of Foley, just great stuff. So that was the hardcore match. Now I'll give my take on it. Since I saw that match, Terry Funk was older, like I said before. He still put on a great show, and he put over Mick Foley, Captain Jack, who was unknown at the time. I heard reportedly he earned at the time $300 for the New Japan match, and that's equivalent to $601 today in 2023. So I agree with one of the comments said I didn't understand that either. I didn't like the finish of when that, like I said, they mentioned where what is his name again? Tiger Sneha jumping in and interfere. That kind of did mess the flow of the match. But I know they was trying to tell a story, but I liked them. It was just Funk and Mick and the barbed wire explosion. Then I like how to count the refs count. You got to get out the ring 10, 9. Then it just I like the whole story behind that. Um, But I know Terry Funk won those matches with Foley. He almost lost his ear. Like Mick Foley lost his ear because he got caught up in the barbed wire. Luckily, it didn't. Those matches are very dangerous. One person saying that it was weak explosion. I'm like, you want them to blow their, you want them to die in the ring? Is that what y'all want? Come on, man. I mean, you gotta. It's only so much you can do. If you don't, if he that person didn't like the match,
Bye
it's
bye, bitch.
yeah. So you gotta recognize what it is. I mean, these guys are putting their bodies on the line in for this type of match. It's barbed wire. It's not many of you guys, including myself, that would do a match like that barbed wire. We're watching, we're not crazy enough to do it. And Funk and Foley were crazy enough to do that match. And I give them their credit for that. I give them their credit. They did what they could. So it's only so much you can do throughout the match. It's only so much you can do. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't get harmed during that match. I'm glad nothing happened to them. I mean, I know there's no chance I would do that match. No chance.
No chance in hell.
No chance in hell for me doing that kind of match. So you guys gotta realize what it is. But that is ranked number 5. So we're going to number 4. Number 4 of top ranked Terry Funk matches. This is one of his definitely a great match. We have Terry Funk versus Ric Flair, Great American Bash, 1989 Glory Days for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, rated 8.5. This was a great, great, great rivalry between both these guys. These guys, they have a long story history. Like I stated before, it's one of his biggest rivals, and you saw that every time they wrestled each other. Like Terry Funk, he was the heel, Flair was the babyface, and Funk would really try to take Flair out of his misery every chance he could get. And Flair was the NWA World Champion. But it's not just my opinion. I'll let you guys see other people's opinions about that match. Give me 1 second. I will pull that up right now. So let's go here and hit that like, subscribe button as you come into the ring. Don't forget to do that either. So this is Ric Flair versus Terry Funk. 7/23, 1989, WCW. Even though it was under NWA, the Great American Bash. 1989 Glory Days. Matches rated 8.53. Let's see what it says. Fantastic match here. Flair and Funk killed it here. The feud has been delivering, and this match did disappoint. A fun brawl mixed in with the Flair format makes for a fun match. I actually really love 1989 Babyface Flair. He was on a hell of a run this year. A 4.5 star match for me. Let's give credit where credit's due for that. I agree.
Because I am that damn good.
Yeah, you guys better recognize what Terry Funk was doing.
Recognize.
Next comment I'm going to read. Wow, this was a wild brawl between both men. Beat the hell out of each other and left as bloody messes. I love psychology of both guys targeting each other's necks. Funk did it to re-injure Flair, whereas Flair did it to give Funk a taste of his own medicine. Even better was the aftermath with a great Muda and Funk battle Flair staying all over the ring for several minutes. Just phenomenal stuff all around, and I agree with that. I love that part too. That was definitely lit. Because when they came in, Great Muda and Sting, the match was not over. It was really getting started.
The shit's about to hit the fan.
It really hit the fan at that point of them guys going at it. It was pretty much like a tag team after the main match was over. So that was very dope with those guys. Now I'm gonna read the last comment. Also gave it a 10 out of 10. Most people else, most everyone else likes their Clash of Champions match better. While I do love that match as well, this is one of my favorites of all time. Flair proved he could be a good face, and Funk was a brutal bastard. These two seemed to really hate each other and laid out each other as a result. That is definitely spot on. That's spot on like a mug. I mean, all those people they know what they're talking about. They definitely know what they're talking about. Yes, I gotta give them they do on that one.
Because I am that damn good.
Yeah, it was. Um, Flair had a bone to pick with Funk. Funk put Flair out. The storyline he put Flair out for a while. He injured him as that match was in July, and he was out since he injured him back in May, and that's when he was talking about re-injuring Flair, hurt his neck and everything. Now there was a spot where he came in after the Steamboat match. He did a power drop to the table on Ric Flair, injured him, and he also took a plastic bag, and strangled Flair in the ring. And I know he got in trouble for that because the fans complained. They called the TBS station saying, kind of abuse it was. And they really gave Terry Funk crap for that. He was trying to be an entertainer, tell a story in the ring. So I liked that about that match. That match is definitely, you guys need to check out that match. That is on Peacock, by the way. That's a great match. Definitely a great match to say the least. It was all over the place. See what she say? Crazy, yeah, really crazy, really crazy. Funk is a crazy person. He was before the Undertaker. I thought Undertaker was crazy, and Funk's a whole nother level. So we will go to number 3. Then there were 3. So the third match of Terrence Funk, really a legend of the top rated Terrence Funk Terry Funk matches. 2 out of 3 falls match, NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Terry Funk versus Jumbo Surata, AJPW NWA Champion Series in 1976 with a rating of 8.56. So, this match I saw as well. Um, this is not the hardcore Terry Funk. This was not the brawler Terry Funk. This was the earlier days, the younger Terry Funk, the technical Terry Funk. Terry Funk was literally 3 people. You had technical one in the 70s. You had the brawler in the 80s, transitioning in hardcore in the 90s. And then you had all over in the 2000s before he retired. Actually, 4, yeah, about 3 different versions. You could say 4. But that particular match, I'm going to highlight as well. I want to see what other people had to say about that match. So that will be, I will highlight that right now. All right. So Jumbo Surata versus Terry Funk. New Japan 2 out of 3 falls. 76, tag 17, 8.56. All right, this person ain't giving no rating, but they said really enjoyed the first and third fall, but wasn't super into the second. There's really more of me not being super into slower pace, but that's normal for this time period. With that in mind, this is a really good match. And one should definitely check out if you're really into these two. If you're either into these two wrestlers. Now, this person here gave it a 9.0. I find a lot of matches with this older style to be extremely boring and hate when it's used in a modern day since it's out of their time and not entertaining. With that being said, it's Terry Funk and Jumbo Surata. Obviously, they get better in the next 2 decades, but here, they're absolute best in the world this time. They put on an enjoyable Mad Classic that I, a young man nearly 50 years later, can still enjoy. I've seen a share of 1970s matches, and this is the absolute best one. That race versus Funk, the race versus Funk snooze fest. Sorry, Stone Cold had nothing on this. Now, last comment from CM Funk 007, 6.0 he gave it. I've never been a big fan of 70s style, well, anything, but I do love Jumbo Surata and Terry Funk. However, I like the 80s and 90s stuff better than this. This isn't without its merit, though. This made a test of strength interesting. They tried to make armbar entertaining and to extent succeed, but it got frustrating watch after a few minutes. So this match was a very technical match. Now, one of the falls I did like, you had there was it was pretty much they was rolling around the ring. It was a pinfall that Terry Funk had Jumbo in, and they rolled around the circle, rolled around, and he this was the second fall, I believe. He got the pin. It was 1, 2, 3, and I liked that part. I never seen that before. It reminds you of amateur wrestling, that particular spot, and I think that's what one other people's complaining about. That was boring. No, that was technical, real technical wrestling. That's what real wrestling's about. That match was all about wrestling. It wasn't just about storyline, it was wrestling. It was a grapple holds back and forth. These guys were at it because before the match they shook hands and everything, and these guys did not stop. It was, I believe, a 40-minute match, so it was really good. This is one of the better matches, one of the best matches I've seen by Terry Funk, and this was younger Terry Funk. Now the people that didn't like that kind of match, they didn't like that version of Terry Funk. I believe they liked more of the hardcore, they like more of the brawler Terry Funk. They didn't like this style of technical, but all styles of Terry Funk was amazing, no matter what style he did. That's how great of a wrestler he was. They just didn't put no respect on his name. They should put respect on his name, just like I'm putting respect on his name. And it's just not fair how they treated him. But I know why they're not treating that way, and I will discuss that when we get to Toxic Ring Scandal. It's definitely he did his thing. I mean, there's no other way putting it. I mean, you got Terry Funk got in that ring. You didn't want none of him. You didn't want none of him. There's no way. I mean, if anything, wrestling should go back to that old school format. It's too many is everything about pyro and entrances. The entrance is what 5 minutes almost, and the pyro's all over the place. And sometimes the promos be too long, but this was pure wrestling at its finest here, and it was in 1976. So this was definitely a great match, one of the better matches. But moving along, let's get to number two. Then there were two. So number two, we have here Terry Funk again versus Ric Flair, NWA, Clash of the Champions, number 9, I Quit match, 1989. Also a great match. This match was off the charts, to say the least. I love this match. This match was very good. And I thank you all for tuning in and sticking with me because I know normally I tell you every match, but some of these I couldn't watch due to not being televised during that time era. But I am going to at least give you guys what the rating and the whole overall overlook of the match. So I will do that again right now. Let's get to that right now. So we got Terry Funk versus Ric Flair. This is a second match. This is 11/15/89 WCW I Quit match, NWA Clash of the Champions, New York Knockout, rated 9.02. Let's see what they say. It's the best I Quit match since Magnum TA versus Tully Blanchard from Starrcade 85. This match was not quite a 5-star affair to me, but boy, did it come close. This is how you blow off a great feud as Flair makes Funk quit. Funk ends up turning face after a bout with Gary Hart, starts beating him out of frustration for Funk to lose the match. Funk will actually retire here. Yeah, we talked about the whole retire, how he goes with that, back and forth with that. But it was a great send off at the time. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. I wish this main event Starrcade instead of how Starrcade plays out. Another person said widely considered best I Quit match ever. Rematch of the Great American Bash Classic still holds up today. These guys are firing all cylinders. Flair chops have never looked better. Whole dynamic of the referee walk around microphone, wave someone to yell. That is brilliant. Getting the young Jim Ross and Gordon Soley commentaries iced on the cake. Preferred a bad match probably because I found a story of Flair's uncertainty and comeback from neck injury to be more compelling. Last person said out of 10, the finale of the Flair Funk feud, so great. Never understood why Funk retired again after this match when the feud with Muta was no brainer. Still, these two tore down the house that night. The drama after this match was excellent as well. Yes, it was. Again, just like their previous match, when the match was over, Sting and Great Muta came down to the ring. They were attacking each other. Now, at this point, not only was Great Muta and Sting, Lex Luger came down there and he attacked. He was a heel. He attacked Muta. Not Muta. I'm sorry. He attacked Sting, and Flair attacked Luger, and they all attacked him. And I like the part where they used the branded iron. Terry Funk always used the branded iron, and I think that's where Triple H, the game, get that sledgehammer inspired from. It came from Terry Funk with this branded iron, where he branded his opponents storyline wise. Um, but Flair, those guys was in their 40s at that time. Flair, I think was 40, 41, and Funk was 45, and they still could put on a great show. You don't see it like that anymore. These wrestlers today get hurt all the time, whether it's a leg, their knees, their arms, shoulders, neck, whatever. These guys are like 40, they barely even, they just in their early 30s, and they getting hurt. Look at Strowman, for example. You got him, you got Kevin Owens, you got Bray Wyatt. These guys are not even going to make it to 40, past 40, let alone, because they get hurt so much. Or they at 40 now. I mean, it's a shame. They don't make them like that anymore. They do not make them like that anymore. That match was amazing. I liked how Gary Hart did turn on him because Terry Funk, he didn't want Terry Funk to shake Ric Flair's hand after the match. And Gary Hart was like, no. And Funk said, I made a promise. Let me shake his hand. And then that's where he attacked Mr. Funk. That's where Hart attacked Funk. Great story. Then Muta came out. It was a great story. Check out that match. I even like that better than the other match I just mentioned, the one they had at Great American Bash. I like the I Quit better because that was a real I Quit match. Because Terry Funk said I quit, but Ric Flair had him in the figure four leg lock, and Terry was holding on. He was holding his leg. He said, I can't no more. I can't no more. I quit. And he sold the story good, but hold on to his leg. So kudos to Flair and Terry Funk on that match. They really did their thing.
Because I am that damn good.
Yeah, so this is why he's getting acknowledged today. He has to. I mean, I like Roman Reigns and all. He's my man and all, but I gotta acknowledge Terry Funk.
The whole world will acknowledge me.
So now you guys know how to do number one. Guys already know how that goes. I'm gonna play the special countdown, and then we'll get to number one. So with that being said, and then there was one, only one left, and let's see what match that was. That was great. Oops, not that one. Funk Brothers versus Abdullah the Butcher and the Sheik Tag League 1979 9.0. Like I said earlier, Terry Funk was only just a great singles wrestler, but he started out as a tag team specialist with his brother. Now this match was I saw this match as well a little bit. Great match by these guys. The Funk Brothers just had they got that cohesive energy. They just work well together. But I'm not the one that feels that way. Let's see what they got to say about it on this end. Like, subscribe on Rumble and YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe over there. We are putting some respect on Terry Funk's name. We acknowledge him tonight. More like Terry Funk Appreciation Night. So load up. Abdullah Butcher. It's the match. APW Real World Tag League 1979. Tag 13, 9.04. Okay, see how this how great this match was. The comments are super long, and I'm not about to say read all of it, but I will read a portion, a very small portion of it. This person gave it a 9.0. Everything about that's great about wrestling. You have one of the hottest crowds I've heard back in the Ultimate Babyface team all the way and popping hues every single time they charge, or even throw the punch back against on the onslaught. This one gave it a 10. This person said overall great, really great match. I go back and forth on which these two 1970 matches were better. This series is easily one of the peaks of 70s wrestling. Last person here gave it a 9.0. I didn't expect the bloody mess in this match, but this was a big thanks to the match. Became excellent example of psychology and pro wrestling. Abdullah the Butcher, despite his bad physical condition, no doubt he was a big overweight guy. Shows that you could do great match with a couple moves. In my opinion, this match started a great tag team wrestling. And that's why I have that at number one. That was a great match. Now that link I used to provide the rates of the matches, I'm gonna put that link below. I'll put that down there. But that's the top 10 rated Terry Funk matches. That particular match was good. A tag team. They sold from the beginning to end. Abdullah and Sheik worked well together too on the heel side. Did everything they could, but like you said, like I said as well, his condition, Abdullah Butcher, if he was in better peak physical condition, he could have do more in the match, but he couldn't because was so big, so huge, so overweight. You know, but the Funk brothers, they just work so great. Um, they gave him a big hug. I know after the match they attacked them. Old school, the heels attacked the babyface after a big match. You see it today, but not as much as it used to be. But I definitely admire that. Great match by all four. Dory Funk, I'm pretty sure about his name too. Great wrestler. He was also NWA World Heavyweight Champion, just like his younger brother Terry. They are the first brothers in history to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Terry Funk and Dory Funk Jr. As you know, their father, Dory Funk Sr., was also in the industry. Passed away in '73. He was think in his 40s or 50s. He wasn't too old. He had a heart attack. But the Funk Bros, they worked very well together, and that's very good. Now, what I'm going to do shortly, I will provide a link to Toxic Ring Scandal, and we're going to cross that bridge. It's time to cross over, make that transition. So, I'm going to do that. Play play some nice little music for you guys, and I will get the link going. I will give you guys several minutes to get the link to click over, and then we'll head over there. I will get ready, get everything set up, and then we will talk about the disrespect they put on Terry Funk's name. So let me do that for a couple minutes. If you guys can afford, give me a few minutes, and I'll get that ready for you guys momentarily. And let me do that right about now. Once again, the link is dropped. Link is dropped as of now. You gotta give you guys a few minutes to click and go over there, and we'll talk more about Terry Funk. This is the career aspect of what he's done. Over there, we'll discuss the disrespective and possibly why he was disrespected. So, with that being said, I'll give you a few more minutes to click that link. Okay. All right. Gave you guys enough time to click the link, get over there. If you guys ain't prompt the link, let me know. But until the champ is going to head out for now momentarily, we'll be back, but the champ got to head out for now. So we're going to head over across that bridge, get right over there. Just for now, champ is heading out.
World Heavyweight Champion!
For now, OUT, let's cross the bridge.